back with another live stream, you all. Listen, first of all, for those of you all who are going to be watching this on the replay, listen, hit me in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on this live stream. And if there's any information that you want to add, go ahead, add the information to it. Now, I'm going to try to bring you some type of info weekly. We've been trying to get a track record of being able to do it every week, having something to bring to you every week. So far as news go about Cadillac in general, Cadillac EVs, GM MV EVs, and also just GM news in general. All right, so we got something to talk about today that I felt was worthy of a conversation. Now, for those of you all who have an EV, you've been driving EVs, you have some information about EVs so far as charging is concerned. Listen, hit us in the comment section down below. Hit me in the chat. Help us out with some information so far as what to expect when we get our EV. Now, I'm going to be getting the Cadillac Lyriq. A lot of us are going to be getting the Cadillac Lyriq. I pretty much want to talk about EVgo and their partnership with GM and Cadillac so far as the charging is concerned, and also talk a little bit about the charging infrastructure so far as EVgo is concerned. Because many of us aren't ready. We haven't sought the information. We're excited about the new car that we're going to get so far as an EV is concerned. For many of us, it's going to be the Cadillac Lyriq. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about this real quick. Now, you know that Cadillac, of course, GM partnered up with EVgo so far as charging is concerned. We got this thing that's called plug and charge. Now, that's the first thing I want to talk about right now, simply because I found out some news that I didn't go. I mean, I didn't know. And the information is pretty much about what's expected for you to have in order for this plug and charge to go. Now, I thought plug and charge for myself without doing the information was simply, plugging the car in, it was going to charge. I thought all charging companies did this because Tesla does this automatically. We know Tesla has been in the game for a while. So I thought that all charging companies did the same thing, but that's not necessarily true. All right. So we partnered up with EVgo. EVgo only has 850 plus charging stations throughout the United States. They're located in 30 different states. Okay. So they do have quite a bit, but not like if you were to go to a charge point or an Electrify America. Okay, they also got what I consider to be generic charging stations, right? But they work yet the same. Now, for EVgo in my area, right? And the question is who is EVgo for? Now, I'm going to go to the map because I got to show you, or at least tell you, I got to get my live stream done online, but I got to boost up my Wi-Fi, right? I got to get it correct. I tried to do it before. It still keeps crashing. So therefore, I have yet to do it. And that's why I'm still doing it on the smartphone. Now, at any time, you can hit me in the comment section so far as the chat is concerned with information and or questions. Now, what I found is that most of these charging stations for EVgo's are going to be located in the uh, over on the East Coast and the West Coast. So on the coast where you got North Carolina, New York, they have the most EVgo charging stations. So that area is going to benefit. We're talking about Jacksonville, Florida. We're talking about Tennessee. We're talking about West Virginia. We're also talking about California and San Francisco have the most EVgo charging. So when we're talking about benefiting from this with the charge and plug, I'm not going to be the one to benefit. I live near the Chicagoland area. I live in the Wisconsin area. I'm on the border pretty much of Chicago and Wisconsin. And there's only a few of these charging stations so far as EVgo is concerned in my area. You have a few in Chicago. You have one near my area, and then all the rest of them are far, far away in Wisconsin. I think they got like two more. So there's not a lot of charging stations in certain areas. Like let's talk about Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana. You're talking about Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and more states like Minnesota. They do not have these stations in their area at all. And we know that, of course, EVgo is just really getting started. And we're going to talk about a new partnership with GM and another company. I'm going to be sending a video out for that tomorrow morning. So look out for that. I want to stay in the here and now about this partnership with EVgo and GM and Cadillac so far as who's going to benefit. Now, for me, I'm not going to benefit. I was looking for something like this to be able, if I'm on the road, right, to be able to just go ahead, grab the plug it in, and just automatically charge my car. I'm not going to be able to do that in my area. Now, on the route that I normally go to see my mom, I go to see my mom like a few times a year. And also, after the pandemic, we're considering doing some travel down this main route, right, that I use. There are no EVgo's. Now, we do have other charging stations like ChargePoint, Electrify America, and you get other charging stations that are en route. But when you're talking about a plug and charge and not having to worry about going into the app and the app not working or not knowing how to use that charging station, this makes life very, very convenient. Now, definitely Cadillac has a plan after the plan that they have with EVgo thus far. So it's going to get better, but it's going to get better over time. So in between now and next year, this time, nothing is really going to change. EVgo is adding stations, from what I understand, at least one every week now. So they're growing, but they are not big enough for most of us who are going to be buying the Cadillac Lyriq to be able to benefit from this. So I wanted to share that. Now, in order to use this plug-in charge, for those of you all who are looking forward to it, here's what it says. Let me read this for you. It says drivers with an EVgo account, you must have an active OnStar connected service and a brand GM app for their vehicles. So you got to have these things. Of course, you have to have an EVgo account that you're going to have to sign into. But it sounds like we have to have an active OnStar account. All right. So now I don't use OnStar. I don't really care for OnStar. I don't know if you heard about the mandatory OnStar subscription that they're going to put into the MSRP. So the cost of the car that's going to be incorporated together. So you're going to be paying this, and this is going to cost you anywhere between, let's say, $1,000 and maybe $1,600 on top of the MSRP that you're already paying. This is not considered an add-on. This is going to be woven into the MSRP price of the car. So with that being said, I got somebody calling. But yeah, so that's a bit of information that I didn't know. If you knew that and you have more information about how this really going to go, if I'm missing anything, go ahead, hit me in the chat right now. Let me know about this, because I thought this was definitely pertinent information so far as EVgo and the partnership is concerned, because I was real excited about that type of partnership with being able to plug and charge without having to worry about hitting any buttons, fumbling with the app. And I've heard so many different stories about not just EVgo, but Electrify America, ChargePoint, and all these other charging companies so far as these charging stations are concerned. So my job is today is just to make you aware of some of the things that I have learned about EVgo so far as what we can expect, and or from any other charging station as well. Okay, now EVgo, I don't know if you looked it up, because if you are going to be getting a Cadillac Lyriq, or you are going to be getting a new EV car, EV electric vehicle, then you might want to go ahead and do some research and find out what you can expect when you get your new vehicle. Now, EVgo has a plan, right, that you can sign up for. You don't have to, you can pay as you go. And this is going to differ depending on what area you're in, what state you're in. So for me, I'm in Wisconsin, right? We're going to pay per minute, not per kilowatt hour, but per minute. And so for California right now is going to be paying per kilowatt hour. My understanding is, without going into a full in-depth about the whole breakdown of which is best, kilowatt hours or paying by the minute. From what I understand, the kilowatt hours are going to be better. I know that when we pay by the minute, I don't know if you heard of that. It's like a surcharge that they're going to be charging you if you stay over your charging time. So if you set your charge time to 80, to charge up to 80%. on a DC fast charging, then what's going to happen is they're going to charge you a surcharge after that. So it can get quite expensive. That's why it's important for all of us to do this homework so far as charging is concerned. So therefore, we're not surprised when we get to these charging stations, right? So now if you pay as you go, just giving you a little bit of information for those of you all who haven't did the research yet, you got where if you pay 30 cents a minute, you don't have to pay anything. There's no extra fee or anything, no session fee, no prepaid charging credit, no monthly subscription or anything like that. But many of you all may not know that you can set reservations as well. Now, reservations are going to cost you, they cost you $3, at least with this plan, pay as you go for 30 cents a minute, which isn't bad, right? Many of you all aren't going to be making reservations, I don't think, but if you are, hit me in the chat and let me know if you're going to be able to use this feature so far as using the reservation is concerned. Me, I probably won't ever use it, but now we got the EVgo member. This one is going to be 27 cents a minute. And this one here, they have a prepaid charging credit, right? Where you have a card that you can use in order to pay for your charging session. And so there's no monthly subscription for this one. Reservation, of course, is going to be $3 as well. And then you have what is called the EVgo Plus. Now, I've checked all of this information out this week. I should have been checked this out. I've been doing research on a lot of other things about EVs and the EV charging and EV infrastructure and what the government is talking about doing so far as aiding a lot of these companies in building the infrastructure. So that's pretty much what my focus has been, and also trying to find out more about the Cadillac Lyriq and trying to get some more information that we don't know about the Lyriq as well. But this EVgo Plus, right, is probably the best one, and they're talking about 24 cents a minute. Again, no session fees. I guess there's going to be some charging stations out there because there are tons of charging stations that may charge you a session fee if you can't get to, let's say, a charge point or Electrify America or an EVgo. This one here doesn't have a prepaid charging credit, but it does have a monthly subscription of $6.99 in order to get this 24 cents a minute for your charging session. And the reservations for this plan is actually free, you guys. So all you got to do is put in EVgo in your search engine. It'll bring it up, and you guys can check this out. This is definitely important information that's truly needed for you guys to know. So therefore, you're ahead of the game when you get your electric vehicle. Now, depending on where you live, that was for Wisconsin. It's going to change from state to state. So you could be paying 28 cents a minute. Like right now, I'm in Michigan. They're 28 cents a minute for that new EVgo Plus, and then for the EVgo member, it's 31 cent. Pay as you go is 35. So depending on what state you in, it's going to determine what you're going to pay per minute for those charged at the DC fast charging. All right, so make sure you guys look that up, get familiar with the app. You can search out and find out if there's any EVgo's in your area. You can set a destination as well, so far as a travel trip plan is concerned, and it'll pull out all the EVgo's that's going to be in that route. Okay, so that's just a little bit of information about the partnership and the information about how you pay for these plans so far as being able to charge your electric vehicle. Now, many people have good things to say about EVgo, but EVgo is no different from any other charging station. Now, the only company that I think have minimal issues with charging is gonna be Tesla. We know that Tesla has been with this and been at this for a very long time, and they've definitely done a good job. There are Tesla supercharging stations all over the United States. So your travel with a Tesla is going to be efficient. It's going to be fluid for the most part. You're not going to have any issues getting from charger to charger for the most part on the road. Cadillac, well, GM is trying to take care of that issue right now. They're actually working on it. As I said before, there's a video coming out tomorrow. Check out that video for the information. If you have not heard about the new information and the new partnership that GM has just made with a company that's going to allow GM to uh, kind of blow up a little bit so far as charging is concerned. The charging infrastructure is going to start growing. It's going to take time, of course, you all. So be patient with that. Now, I want to go over some things that I've heard. Now, at any time, you all, you can hit me in the chat. You know, I love to chat with you. If you have any information, again, that I don't know, leave it for us in the chat because it's not just for me, it's for everybody. A lot of us, like myself, are new to the EV game. All right. So there's a lot of things that we don't know. I'm steady doing more research so I can be prepared when I get the Cadillac Lyriq. Because getting the Cadillac Lyriq can be in question because we do need to talk about the ARP, the interest rate that's going up as well, which may push many of us out the box so far as being able to afford the Cadillac Lyriq. I'm not going to be car poor. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's not going to be me. But with that being said, let's go down the list, right? I got my list right here of some things that I researched and found out that these are some of the things that people are going through and what we can expect. Let's see what we got. Gotcha. Okay, there's no EVgo around my area. This is DRP, producing more than 50-watt pan per minute. Yes, I forgot to mention that. That's another thing that I did search out. And in my area, for the ones that we do have, like the few that are in Chicago, the one that's in my area, the few that's kind of in my area are all 50 watts. Now, in some places in the United States, they do have the 150 kilowatt. I think they do have the 350 kilowatt hour charging stations as well. But in my area, all of them are 50. So I don't know. I wasn't able to find out the information on how slow that would be for the Cadillac Lyriq. I know that Tesla, the Ionic 5, and the EV6, they're all charging in between 15 and 20 minutes from like 10 to 80%. They're doing real good on charging. But also you talk about the battery size of the EV6 and the Ionic 5 and also the Tesla Model 3. Because the Tesla Model 3, if I'm not mistaken, is charging from, I want to say 0 to 80% in 15 minutes. So you got to consider that Tesla has been in the game for a while, but the Ionic 5 and the EV6 are charging at 20, from what I understand, 20 minutes to 80%, which is pretty good. If you're on the road, that's what you want to be. You want to be in, you want to be out for the most part, except for if you're going to be on that type of road trip where you're going to be out having dinner, you can let it sit, or you're going to be charging and you're going to go into the mall, something like that. That's going to be cool. But for many of us, like myself, I like to be in and out. I like to get to my destination. I normally don't stop and sleep over at a hotel or anything like that. So this is going to be a whole new world, a whole new experience for me so far as being an EV owner. We are going to be keeping, well, my family, a gas combustion car in the mix just in case we really don't want to deal with the headache right now, especially considering the infrastructure as well. And we're going to talk about some of those issues. Like one of the issues are, and I'm quite sure a lot of you all have heard this, that sometimes you'll stop at a charging station and they will only have two chargers, maybe one is working. So depending on the time of day, depending on how many people are trying to charge at that time, you could be waiting quite a while before you even get up to the charging. So if the Lyriq is charging at, let's just hypothetically say 45 minutes, right? And you're in line waiting 45 minutes, that kind of puts you way behind on your journey so far as your travel is concerned. So a trip that would normally take 6 hours now is taking, I don't know, maybe 7.5, 8 hours. And these are some of the things that we're going to have to consider. Like there's some issues where people have gotten to a charging station that they've been guided to from the car, from the navigation system, and they got there and they end up being at someone's home, or they got there and there were like 8 charging stations and then only 4 of those charging stations worked. And if it's in the daytime where people are more active, they're getting out, they're charging their cars. For many of the people who are in apartments or who are in condos and things like that, you may have a longer wait. So these are going to be the things that we're going to be uh, having to look out for, because we don't know what's taking place in other states as we travel the highways. So that's a couple of things that I know that I would have to be mindful of in my travel. So if I'm going to take the Cadillac Lyriq, I have to know that I got to be patient, right? And hopefully we can get accurate information through the navigation system on the Cadillac Lyriq. For those of us who are getting a Cadillac Lyriq, for those of you all who got the Ionic 5, the Mustang Mach-E, the EV6, you already know how the game goes. Again, leave some information down below. Help us out to find out what we need to expect once we get this EV car and we start doing road trips. Now, for many of us, I know, like myself, my car is going to be a commuter car, which means that I'm just going to be going back and forth to work. Besides, when I go see my mom, the few times I go see my mom a year. Again, the trip is 5 hours. Now, I don't know the EPA for the all-wheel drive. We do for the rear-wheel drive, but the all-wheel drive, we do not know. I'm going to guess that's going to be anywhere between 287 miles of range on a full charge, well, 80%. And so I'm thinking that may not be enough to get me to where I'm going. For those of you all who don't know, there's so many different elements that plays a role in how far your car is going to go. Again, if you have not did the research on what you need to know about the EV that you're about to get, you need to start doing that right now. All right, because you got, well, let's say if it's cold outside, you got the heat running. Now you got the heat running and you're speeding at 70 miles an hour because you're trying to get there, and or are you going uphill as well, right? And so those things are going to play a factor in how much range you get out of your battery as well. Same thing for the summertime. If you got the air on, me, I buy a car, I'm going to use everything. So I'm going to have to be mindful of the type of trip that I'm going to be going on. If it's going to be a trip where it's 12 hours, it's 10 hours, then I'm probably going to take the gas combustion car on that road trip. Again, familiarize yourself with the information needed with owning an EV. Watch plenty of videos on YouTube. Also, research information that is in your head online about what you want to know about owning an EV car. Now, the other thing that I found out is that with some of these charging stations that goes with EVgo, Electrify America, I haven't heard anything about charge point, but sometimes the charging stops randomly. Maybe you could charge for 5 minutes, maybe it's about 20 minutes that you're charging, and they say sometimes the charging just stops. Now, I'm not trying to scare anybody and not getting an EV. I just want to let you know some of the things that you can expect out of an EV vehicle once you get it when you're talking about being on the road and DC fast charging your car. Charging at home is not going to be a problem. That's going to be a breeze. Everything is about the travel on the highways and byways. Okay. The other thing is that they're saying I've been on the EVgo app for a while. I have it on my phone, and I'm just trying to familiarize myself with how it works. Now, I didn't hear anything yet, but I'm hoping that we don't have to actually deal with the EV app separately from the Cadillac app. I hope everything is going to be integrated into the Cadillac app. So therefore, we go to one app, and that's going to be on the Cadillac app that we use to remote start our car, to be able to see the information that's on there, to be able to see our charging speed, our charging time, so we can keep up with it. So I really don't like the EVgo app per se. I do like the way Cadillac's UI looks. So maybe that's going to change. But yes, sometimes that app crashes. So if we don't have to deal with that, maybe we're going to be okay with having the Cadillac Lyriq and using the Cadillac app to get all the information that we need for the EV that we're going to be owning. Now, the other thing is that they're saying that there's some customer service issues as well. I mean, some of these people are rude. There have been some times where people have been charged. Sometimes people accounts have been sent to the Better Business Bureau, to the not the Better Business Bureau, to the credit collection agencies. And yeah, sometimes they have accidentally charged people. This is EVgo. This is EVgo. We're just talking about EVgo at this point. And there's a few cases where this has happened. EVgo has acknowledged that the customer service person misunderstood, and the person was right about what they were claiming about the overcharge that they were getting for their charging. And there was another guy who actually canceled his account, and he was done with it, and he was still being charged for charging. And of course, they charged him a late fee, and also they end up sending his account to collections as well. So I'm hoping we don't have to deal with any of those issues. I hope those issues will be ironed out by the time we get our new EV. So those are a few things that we're gonna have to look out for, you all, when we get these e-vehicles. And considering that we're partnering up with EVgo, I was really excited about that. I was really looking forward to being able to plug and charge, which with all these other charging stations that uh, Gene was talking about partnering with, they're not giving any information on how soon that's going to be. All right. And so we only gonna have to wait. They are saying that they are gonna partner up with some other companies. I'm hoping that ChargePoint, Electrify America will be one of them, because those two have a large uh, um, area of charging stations throughout the United States, especially Electrify America. And I'm thinking you're gonna see a lot of ChargePoint charging stations than you will Electrify America as well. All right. And then the other thing is going to be um, the kilowatt hour. I'm not sure as to which is actually best. I am going to do some more research, some more information on that to find out what's going to be best. But I guess it really doesn't make a difference because in the Wisconsin area, we have to pay per minute. Tesla cars, I'm guessing, depending on what area you're in, you're going to pay by kilowatt hour. So that's going to be something that's going to be interesting to find out, because I'm thinking EVgo is trying to switch over to just doing the charge by kilowatt hour. So, anybody got any questions on what we talked about thus far? Because I got one other major thing I want to talk about before we end this live session, you all. And I hope somebody has a question or some information to be able to deliver to not only me, but to the people who are listening out there, who are watching this on the replay. Now, I know that this is just getting started. Tesla has been in the game for a very long time, and a lot of these charging stations, you all, don't have coverings. A lot of them, you do have some that do have coverings, and what I mean by that, you know how you pull up to a gas station, and in the gas station they have the covering, so therefore when you're putting gas in your car, you're not getting wet. You know, you're staying dry, not unless you're going to go into the store, and so therefore you have to go from up under the covering. Well, with a lot of these charging stations, whether it be EVgo, whether it be Electrify America, ChargePoint, Blink, all these other companies, a lot of them do not have covering. So if it's pouring down raining, we are going to be in the rain. If you have any questions about whether you're going to get electrocuted or not, they're promising and saying that it doesn't happen. I watch videos on people charging their cars in the rain. They're saying that it is actually, from what I understand, 100% safe for you to charge your car in the rain. But who wants to charge their car in the rain? Again, another thing that we need to expect and look out for when we're on the highways and byways, when we're traveling, when we're charging, that we're out in the element with no coverings. And I'm hoping that they address that soon. I know this is like a new birth for charging stations and the EVs that are definitely making a big dent in the market right now. Uh, I think the top company, of course, is going to be Tesla. You got the Mach-E, which is coming close behind. You also got, I want to say the Ionic 5. If I'm no, the EV6 is next, and then I believe the Ionic 5 is behind that. Now, I don't know what the Cadillac Lyriq is going to be once they hit the scene, but I think the Lyriq is going to make a huge dent when they do hit the market. The question would be, it's going to be on the charging speed of that vehicle, because they already have the exterior and the exterior, the interior and the exterior is taken care of. So everything is going to be about, do the people like how fast the Cadillac Lyriq charges, and that's a video that nobody has really done yet. They have done the media reviews, but they have yet to do a charging review. State of Charge normally does that. I haven't seen anything from him, so we're just still waiting. And there are still a lot of people still waiting on, of course, their debut editions. Some of them have build orders for September, so I'm looking forward to them getting there. So therefore, I know that I'm going to be getting mine really, really soon. But I'm going to be that person that will not, I repeat, will not benefit from the partnership with EVgo. Charge point is all over the place in my area. So if I need to use that, whether I'm going to Chicago or whether I'm going down Route 30, I'm in Maryville in Indiana. That's the route that I normally go. US Route 65, I normally go down. I haven't been down there in a while, so I don't know where the charging stations are located. I have yet to set a destination, but I am looking forward to seeing how this is going to work out. So, with that being said, if you guys don't have any questions, that's going to be the end of the live. I just wanted to deliver the information about some of the things that you can expect from EVgo for those of you all who are going to be able to benefit. And let's take a look at this again because a lot of the people are going to be on the East Coast and the West Coast, and I think the East Coast is going to have the most, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's saturated all in that area. You got, let's see, there's a lot in Jacksonville, Florida, all in the Florida area. You got a couple in South Carolina, again, North Carolina. Remember, we said Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey. Got a bunch of them in Philly. There's not a lot in Philadelphia, a few in Cleveland, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. You have a few in Cincinnati, and you have a couple of EVgo's in Indianapolis. And then you have another cluster in St. Louis area. Um, but when you watch the video tomorrow, you'll understand that Cadillac is definitely on top of the problem, and they have made a new partnership with EVgo and another company. I don't want to tell you the company is for those of you all who don't know, because I want you guys to check out that video and support the channel. And that's going to be it, you all. That's all the information I had about EVgo. We're going to try to do the live stream, I think, on Fridays. I think Friday is a good day to do a live stream. Thursday have been kind of tight, right? So therefore, I'm thinking about switching it to Friday. I can't do Sunday because Sunday is kind of that free day. It's kind of a catch up day for all the other videos on the other channel that I have. So today, we're a day late. I wasn't able to send out any messages to you guys to let you know that the live stream, for those of y'all who enjoyed the live streams that I bring, then you know now that Fridays, for right now, at least Friday is going to be the day until I can find a better day to do these live streams. Um, yes, they do need to partner up. DPR said they need to partner up with Electrify America. They do. Electrify America is all over the place as well as Charge Point. But I'm going to be a okay because I found that Charge Point is down the route that I'm going to be going down, and I think I may, considering the weather, because I've watched videos where people have been. I'm talking about in the cold, they have turned down their heat. When I say turn down, they turned down damn near till it was cold. So therefore, they'll be able to make it to the next charging station. If I got to drive a car like that, then I won't buy it. So I like this car. I love the design inside and out. I do want to buy the car, but when I'm on the road and it's 35 degrees, 20 degrees, the heat is blasting. So if that means if I really want to show off my car, if I really want to drive my Cadillac Lyriq, then I need to be okay with making one more stop. I just have to plan out when that stop is. Do I need to leave work early to get on this road trip? I need to plan this out to where it makes sense and to where it's convenient for me. And it's going to be the same thing for you all with your travel that you normally go down from year to year. It's the same route every year. You have to make sure you plan that out to be okay with it. So for me, my car is basically going to be a commuter car, right? But I still got to consider the fact that I want to show off my Lyriq. I want to put my Lyriq on the road. I want to be able to do road trips in my lyrics. So I have to make sure that I can plan this out or even take a look at some of the routes that I may possibly be going down. But one of the routes that I go down is Route 30. So on Route 30, there is no EVgo stations, period. Right. But again, Charge Point, Electrify America. But a lot of these charging stations, another thing you need to know is that they're not actually on well off the expressway. A lot of these are where you have to go into town in order to go do the charge, which is cool, which is fine. But I'm so used to stopping off the expressway. You go in, you get gas, you use the washroom, you grab some Zuzus and Wham Whams, and you're back out, right? You're back out on the road instead of going 10 minutes down the road and then have to come 10 minutes back. But that's the price we pay for having an EV. DRP says, which color did you pick? Now, if I had seen the white in person, um, I might have went with the white, but I really couldn't see what the white looks like. It really didn't look good. So I picked the satin steel, which I think is one of the best colors. That occupant blue, I didn't want to get that one. That one was too bluish for me. I still wanted something that was going to show the elegance of the Cadillac Lyriq. And I think that color, along with the black, will detail this a lot better. Even the white should stand out, but I just couldn't get a good look at that white, right? I don't know if it has a pearl paint job. Is it a flat white or what? So I wasn't absolutely sure. So I went ahead and I went with that color, which is the color that I think a lot of people chose. And it's the color that I've seen the most. And it looks absolutely gorgeous on a lot of the media reviews that I've seen. So I picked that color, satin steel. Which one did you pick? Is there anybody out there watching this live right now? Are you going to get an EV this year? Doesn't necessarily have to be the Cadillac Lyriq. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Mustang Mach-E. It can be the Ionic 5, the Ionic 6 that's coming out. I don't know if any of you all seen the Ionic 6. I think Hyundai is going a little bit far so far as the designs are concerned, but yes, they are definitely getting paid. People are reaching out and they loving these crazy designs that Hyundai is bringing. Or it could be what other car we got that you can get? You can get the Silverado that's coming out by GM, right? They got an EV truck coming out that definitely looks nice. Now I'm looking forward to seeing the review of the what car is that? The Blazer SS, right? I'm looking for that EV car. DRP says my dealership said the all-wheel drive would not come. No, it won't. It won't. I'm hearing that the next year's model is going to have an option where you can opt in for the 22-inch rims. I mean tires. And that's weird, right? Maybe this is because it's a new vehicle. The Cadillac isn't offering that on the Lyriq, but still at the same time, it's weird when I look at other EV manufacturers that have did it. You know, Tesla has done something like that. I believe they did it with the 21-inch tires that you were able to opt in for. But with the Cadillac Lyriq, no. There's a lot of things about this Lyriq that's really weird. On the Cadillac Lyriq, you got a towing rate of 3,500 on the all-wheel drive, but you don't have it, of course, on the rear-wheel drive. And I understand when you talk about range, everything's being considered around range. But let's talk about the uh, the door seal. Why does the rear-wheel drive get the door seal lighting and the all-wheel drive doesn't? Why doesn't the all-wheel drive Cadillac Lyriq do not get the hands-free where you kick up under the car and it automatically opens up the hatch? Why does the rear-wheel drive get it and the all-wheel drive doesn't? Has nothing to do with range. So I don't know where they got to um, putting together these packages for the two models, but it's weird as all outdoors because I'm gonna be honest, I want the 22-inch tires, but I can't do the rear wheel drive because I live in the Midwest. So I don't want to be fishtailing and I haven't had any experience with anybody else with that car to say that listen, this car drives awesome in the snow. You don't need an all-wheel drive. I have a guy who has a Tesla Model 3. He has a rear-wheel drive. He said he has yet to have any problems with wheel slippage so far as being in the snow is concerned. But for me, I don't want to trust that. I still want to feel safe with it. It's going to have a snow and ice mode, which I have on the Cadillac CT6. And I'm telling you, this thing digs into the snow. It just creates so much comfort on the road when you're driving in the snow that, yes, I have to have the all-wheel drive, and I'm going to spend extra money for it. Again, the question is going to be, what is the interest rate is going to be on this car when it comes out, and what is the car going to lease for, and am I going to be able to buy the lease car at the end of the lease, which is something that a couple of other companies are doing. Tesla's doing it and Ford is doing it, but now they're pretty much just renting out the car. It's no longer a lease. You can no longer buy it at the end of the lease. So those are some things that I have to consider, because to buy the Cadillac Lyriq outright is probably going to cost a lot of us anywhere between 1,000 to 1,300 to 1,400 all depending on how much you put down on the car, and how much the car costs. So that's a lot. So we don't know those things yet. So those are some of the information that I'm looking forward to finding out. I search it out every day, so therefore I can get a heads up on it. I can get an idea of what I need to save and what kind of down payment I need to put down on this car, and if it's worth putting that kind of money on a car. How much is this car going to benefit me? I understand we don't pay for gas. I understand we don't pay for oil, but does that really balances out so far as how much I had to put down on this car, and on top of it, how much my car note is going to be? So I would really like to know what the interest rate and the cost of the car is going to cost. So far as the lease is concerned, which is information that Cadillac is still holding back on. Cadillac is holding back on a few information that the consumers need. And everything, I don't know if you know, is getting pushed back. So if the people are just getting the debut edition, you can rest assured that the people with the all-wheel drive, it's going to wait even longer. I'm going to guess that we may not, and this is just a guess, that we may not see the all-wheel drive till either almost spring or mid-spring, could be May. This is what I'm seeing thus far. I think they have an issue with chips, in spite of the fact that I heard from the Cadillac concierge, they're saying that Cadillac is making their own chips. Maybe they're slow with it. Maybe they're behind. Maybe people are catching COVID. I am not sure. But that's what the Cadillac concierge told me, that they do make their own chips. And I thought that was very surprising information. It's not on the internet or anything like that, so you can't search that out. But if it is, they're having issues with getting these cars on the market. They're still having problems with getting the gas combustion cars on the lots as well. So again, you all, that's going to be it. I'm just wanting to get this information out, seeking more information about what it's going to be like owning this EV car and having it in my garage. But I do like the fact that Cadillac is going to help us with the DC, not the DC, but with the home charging, and or for those of you all who don't live in a home, you're going to be able to get 2 years of free charging with EVgo. But if EVgo isn't in your area, then what do you do? You're going to still end up paying for the charging. So I don't know. I think Cadillac thought this through to a limit, but then they just kind of said, okay, we're just going to throw it out there. We'll kind of put this together as we go along. So I don't know, you guys. That's it. That's it. That's EVgo. I wish that I could benefit from it, but I won't, and I can't. All right, you all, this is going to be the end of this live stream. I want to thank everybody who showed up. Listen, you all, if you enjoy what I do, if you enjoy the live stream, you can also send me a super chat to support the channel. You can also hit the super thanks button under any of my videos if you want to help support the channel as well. I want to thank everybody for showing up. I hope you guys have the greatest weekend. I'm going to be hitting the city this weekend. I'm going to be hanging out with my daughters, so I'm looking forward to that. And with that being said, you all, I'm going to see you all at the next video. Enjoy life, have some fun, and remember to remember, you all, be safe.